Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, Josh Thompson. Here at the broadcast table, we will be joined by Jay Glazer, Chael P. Sonnen, Alina Leigh McFarland, and of course, Jen Brown. Red gloves for Miguel Jacob, blue gloves, Big John, for David Pacheco.
Now, Pacheco, if you're going to watch his style, he's the guy that is going to be the bully in this fight. He's going to try to just push Miguel towards the cage, land big shots, see if he can do it.
Miguel Jacob out of Black House MMA, black belt in kickboxing, and he said, and I quote, Josh, I have the pleasure to train with fighters like Anderson Silva and Lyoto the Dragon Machida.
It always makes a huge difference when you come from a camp that has top talent like that. You can pick and choose, you can pick their brains in moments when you're trying to learn something, and they can break it down to you in some ways that coaches can't.
It also gives you that confidence of when you train with that guy that has been at that top level and you know, I'm doing okay with him. It just adds to your confidence.
The Superman punch landed a moment ago for Miguel Jacob. 3-0 at just 22 years old. Nice combination.
That was a nice high left kick that landed and it hurt him.
Now to the body. Josh, he's mixing it up nicely early.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of mixing it up. Pacheco's got to get his head offline. He needs to make sure he keeps his hands up in front of his face. What he's doing is letting those hands drop down to his chin. And when he does that, he's keeping his head right in line, which anywhere Jacob throws, it's landing.
This fight is a rematch. It is a different sport in which they are competing in tonight, mixed martial arts. But these two did meet in professional Muay Thai back in September of 2018. Jacob won after 5 rounds of good action. Pacheco Sensei, Chiva Santana, had 4 fights in Bellator. His last one back in 2013. Nice elbow on the release. Red gloves for Miguel Jacob, making his Bellator debut. Pacheco fought here at the Forum 1 year ago and earned a victory by a second-round TKO.
They both need to work on moving their head a little bit as they make their entrances. Both of them are keeping their heads straight in line with the punching, which kind of concerns me, especially as you start to get tired. Anywhere you throw the punch, you know where their head's going to be. It doesn't matter if I throw an overhand right or if I throw a left hook or throw a straight punch. Your head's going to always be in the same spot, so I don't have to really aim.
Right now, as you're watching, just watch the footwork and you're seeing the difference. Pacheco's got that wadding style. He likes to set his feet and try to throw with power from his hips, where a lot of times Jacobs, you're seeing that little skip. That's to generate power off of the ground when he throws that kick up.
Jacobs had a lot of success during his amateur kickboxing days, looking to translate that success into a mixed martial arts career that could last a long time.
Yeah, what we're trying to see out of Jacob is he moves his head, or not he moves his head, he moves his hands a little bit. You see how right there, he keeps his hands right on his chin. That's where he wants to be, but he's got to move his head a little bit offline. What I like that he's doing is he's throwing his combination of finishing with a kick, or he's throwing the kick and finishing with his hands. That's something that Pacheco's not doing.
And Big John, that's something that most striking trainers will talk about all the time. Whatever combination it may be, finish it with a kick or finish it with the jab, but finish with something that puts yourself away from danger.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to utilize your hands, the best part of throwing your hands is all of a sudden someone is now busy with those things, and the last thing that's coming is that kick. You can hide that kick behind the hands, and you usually will be successful with landing it either to the body or up high.
Left hook landed from David Pacheco. Final minute of round number 1, first fight. Here from the Forum on DAZN.
Jacob's got the better footwork, and see he's moving his lateral movement right now. Stay moving. I think he punches better and kicks better off the movement when he utilizes that. When he stands directly in front of Pacheco is when he's getting hit. He needs to keep the movement, or at least throw, and then create movement.
Well, we've had 2 times in this fight already where Pacheco has been hurt. He got damaged with a kick, and he got damaged with the hands in that last section. About 40 seconds left in the fight, so in the round.
Those body kicks are going to play dividend, I think, in the next round and leading into the final, because he's landing the punches after the body kick.
Beautiful left hand by Jacobs.
Here we go.
effective fighter, and he wins that round.
10-9 on Big John's unofficial scorecard.
John likes to constantly remind me that it doesn't matter if you are aggressive and you're not doing anything.
Hold on. I gotta Google that.
Yeah.
Red gloves for Miguel Jacob.
Time.
Accidental eye poke, David Pacheco in the blue.
Right here. I'm talking to your corner, okay? They got cut due to a punch. The cut is due to a punch.
John, we just heard the corner or the ref say, no talking to your corner. Can you explain to me?
Yeah, right now what you have is you have a foul based upon a poke in the eye. This is not the fighter's time as far as Pacheco's time to get instruction. That's unfair because right now Jacob has got to deal with this eye poke. He's not getting instruction. You try to make things as fair as possible. The corner has to remain quiet. They cannot instruct their fighter, so it's fair for both fighters.
Now,
getting better?
The misconception is, though, correct, that fighters are given an automatic 5 minutes for an eye poke, and that's not true.
That is not true at all. Now, you can see the eye poke usually, and this happens all the time, in a defensive motion. You see Pacheco reaching that hand out, but the fighter doesn't get 5 minutes of time automatically. That is,
stay out of it.
it's a false, perception of what really occurs is the referee has up to 5 minutes of time in conjunction with the ringside physician to decide, can I allow this fighter to safely continue in this fight? Watch the blue go. See that? You see the hand just reach out and just rakes the eye, and that's what happened. I think his small finger came out and just touched the eye. And anytime something touches your eye, it affects you.
The fight continues. 30 seconds into round 2.
Pacheco becoming very aggressive, and that's not usually a good thing to do when you have a guy who is better technically, and you see the kicks that Jacob is using. Got to be controlled in that offensive attack.
And the straight right he landed a moment ago as well, Josh.
I think there was a little sense of urgency. He realized he was cut. He's not sure how bad it is. And so he decided to go out there and try and get the pressure on right away. Sometimes that's a big mistake. You're rushing something that doesn't be rushed.
So Jacob, the victim of the accidental eye poke. Fight continuing, though. Pacheco bloodied up from the hands of his opponent, Miguel Jacob. There's that Superman punch again.
And the other thing that you're seeing, Mike, is watch Jacob. He doesn't do big movements as far as his head. He gives good lateral movement, but he does little movements. And in contrast to it, watch Pacheco. It is exactly what Josh has stated before. His head is straight down the center line. He gives nothing more. You know exactly where that head's going to be. That's what's making Jacob's job easier, is he knows exactly where to throw those hands, and that target's going to be there.
What I like that Pacheco is doing, though, is he's throwing the kicks. The issue is, though, is he's not bringing his leg back fast enough, and he's leaving his head, like John just said, his head stays right in the center line. So if you're not going to bring your kick back fast, the chance of you getting countered is pretty
It's a good chance you're going to
pretty good.
And John, what you were talking about is the economy of motion.
Absolutely. You know, Jacob right now, all that beautiful lateral movement, every time that Pacheco sets his feet to try to throw hard, all of a sudden you see Jacob now laterally moving, and you see Pacheco chasing. You don't want to chase, you want to cut it off. If you're not cutting it off and you're chasing, you're actually the one being led into danger.
You see how Jacob's moving his head offline when he punches, so that a lot of the punches that Pacheco's throwing, he's missing. That one landed, though.
That was a good one. That was another good left hand by Pacheco.
Looking for that head kick. Missed with the spinning kick a moment ago. There's the low kick that Josh was alluding to, and an inside kick from David Pacheco. Just past the midway point of our first fight of the night. This one at 170 pounds.
There was your favorite technique, the Superman punch, Goldie.
I absolutely love it.
I was surprised you guys didn't give me credit for that. I was the very first person to do it in the big stage.
No, you weren't. Superman was.
Very true.
He was the second, though.
He didn't do it as good as me.
No, he did not.
And again, every time you're seeing Pacheco when he throws, look at that head straight down the line. That's why Jacob is landing those shots.
From the beginning of this fight, John, Jacob has really mixed things up well.
That honestly, both guys are tough. And
yes.
Pacheco is he's a different style fighter than Jacob. Jacob is the more technically fluid fighter. He's the guy that you look at and go, man, he looks good doing that. Where Pacheco is the guy that, man, you gotta beat him with a baseball bat to get him off you. He's got that tenacity and that I'm just gonna come forward and do what I have to do to land big strikes on you. It's just that some of what he's doing is leading him into the danger zone.
Pacheco having some good results with that leg kick as well. You see Jacob switch his stance back and forth a little bit. There it is again.
Check. You can even see with the stance. Look at the back foot of David Pacheco in the blue gloves. The back foot shows you that he is very comfortable throwing kicks. And neither man has really thought about a takedown or really a clinch with 20 seconds on the clock here in round number 2. But it's more that classic kickboxing Muay Thai stance.
10 seconds. Watch the bell.
Final seconds of round number 2. Let's check in with Jay Glazer. It was 145.
Yeah, he's just lost. Yeah.
4th grade. We'll check in with Glaze and Chael, Alimale. Throughout the night, check in with Jen Brown. Throughout the night, we'll check in with Jen in a moment. 3rd and final round of this welterweight matchup. Miguel, Jacob, red gloves, blue gloves for David Pacheco. John, you gave round 1 to Jacob on your unofficial scorecard. Round 2?
Round 2, Jacob gets that round also. I have it. It's not that it's Pacheco's had his moments. He's done well. It's close, but he's just not landing the number or as hard or as damaging as shots in the quantity that Jacob is landing.
So that being said, Josh, if you were in the corner of David Pacheco, what would you have told him between rounds?
Well, I would have told him the same thing I would have told him from the first round. Move your head offline and throw big punches. We got to try to get him out of there. You're losing the round. You're losing the fight 2 rounds to none. You really have nothing to lose right now. Go out there and get after it.
Beautiful exchange right there, and that's the big difference that you're seeing between the 2 fighters, Josh, is you see that Pacheco is trying to land that one big shot. Jacobs is throwing in combinations, and that's why Jacob is doing well in this fight.
Yes, Jacob is doing a great job. He's doing a great job just keeping his head offline. And like, I love the combination mix-up. That the thing is with the change in the story of this whole fight is because it would be a different fight if he just threw his hands or if he just threw his kicks. That's what Pacheco's doing. That's why he's not having the success that Jacob's having.
Jacob said, I have been fighting since I was 11 years old. My dream has always been to be a fighter. This a big opportunity for him in the big show for the very first time. Inside the form with 3 minutes remaining in this welterweight matchup.
The other thing I've noticed about Pacheco is that he throws his combination. He'll throw 2, maybe 3 punches, and then he stops and stands right there in the pocket. It doesn't get offline or keep throwing.
Or come in, do your damage, and move yourself out so you can't be damaged. And look, it's not, he is in this fight, and it only takes 1 shot for him to turn this into a win. But what we're seeing out of him right now is he's trying for just that 1 shot where he needs to throw more than the 1 to set up the shot that's going to land and do the damage.
Jacobs went to the spinning back fist like 4 or 5 times by now. If he spun the other way, I believe, I think he could land it.
Finishing with that head kick once again. Pacheco able to keep his hands up.
That's right there what I just talked about. He throws 1 punch, and then he just stands right there and doesn't try to circle out or continue to throw. You can't step in and slide into the pocket or step into the pocket and throw and then stay there waiting for your opponent to throw back. That was a nice body kick.
Exactly, it was a really nice body kick. And I think one of the things that you're trying to describe, I know exactly what you were talking about, when you're talking about throwing the spinning back fist. Normally, generally, usually, you want to throw it. If that guy is standing with his left foot forward, like you're seeing Pacheco right now, I want to throw that spinning back fist with my left hand being the target as far as the tool to hit the target, because I want to go go towards that side where he is bladed. I want to go, don't go to that open side, go to the side that's closed.
That went off the arm, but it stung. Pacheco trying to close off the Bellator cage here with just over a minute.
Those body kicks, what they're doing is they're getting Pacheco to lower his elbows just a tiny bit so he doesn't get hit clean to the body. And when that's happening, Jacob's able to land the combination to the head.
There's a big right hand. And again, and also Miguel Jacob with those body kicks, John, is really taking the cardio away from his opponent.
Yeah, I've been very impressed that Pacheco has been able to maintain coming forward and being aggressive with a lot of the body shots that he's taking, because those they just take it out of you, and he's obviously in shape.
Well, you said it from the beginning. Both these guys are extremely tough in their game. You can tell just from the first round on, they've just been going at each other the whole time. First shot we've seen right there.
I don't even know what that was really.
I was just going to say the first kind of shot. 15 seconds. Miguel Jacob looking for a victory in his Bellator debut, hoping to remain unbeaten as a professional. They go the distance. Here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges. Your first, Chris Crail scores at 30-27. Larry Landless has it 30-26. And Jackie Dinkin, 30-27. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Miguel Jacob.
Miguel Jacob by unanimous decision. Impressive performance from the 22-year-old. 4-0 as a pro.